Hello YouTube, it is Championdjk coming at you again with another Auto World Complete series, and man are we going back in time with this one. This is Auto World Premium Release 3. This is the last Ultra Red right here that I needed to get a hold of to complete this series. This series took obviously a very long time to complete. I didn't collect it right when it came out. Collect Auto World right when this series came out. Was just kind of getting into Diecast and stuff like that. You can see a production date code right here of 7/31/2014. So I think I started collecting in the tail end of 2014. Didn't really pick up any Auto World till, shortly after, really, after starting to collect. But wasn't really into Auto World all crazy until like I am now. But anyway, trying to go back in time and trying to find this release. The regulars are hard to get and sometimes come at a premium. The Ultra Reds are even more difficult. You can't just go to eBay. You can go to eBay. You can, try to track them down. They just take a long time before you even see one. And then when you see one, usually people are wanting a lot of money for it. Some people understand why, and sometimes they just sit there, though, and they don't sell for a little while. But this one was at the right price. I had to pick it up. So finally completed this series, Premium Release 3. Definitely a tough one to get. Of course, as usual with these series videos, we're going to go through the whole series and take a look at all the regular cars and all the Ultra Reds, and then we're going to finale it with opening up this one. So we're going to do this Kingswood casting last, even though it was number 1 in the series. So we're going to start with number 2. I suppose, actually, real quick before we do that, if there is, anything you want to see in this card art, this is what it looked like basically for all of them. Auto World Premium looked kind of plain. They didn't have different colors on the card for different version A's and version B's. They did just have the car that would match the regular. And as usual, the Ultra Reds can be found in either a version A or version B card. That makes no difference in the actual car or for a store release. So they've kept that true to today. Here's where it explains here that 3% of the production run are Ultra Red variations. Gorgeous metallic red mixed in with our regular cars. So there's some information there. Anyway, we're going to open up this last. So let's start with number 2 in the series. And it's going to be this car right here. This is the 1964 Ford Galaxy convertible. Funny thing is this car right here, this very car, was the last car I needed to complete my regular Auto World collection. Non-chase variations at the time. So at the time I started really going after completing them was probably around 2017, 2018, somewhere in there, whatever. But I decided to go back in time and try to get all these cars. This was the last one I needed to find, and I found it at my pal's SC Diecast shop. So really cool to find that. So we think, by the way, production numbers of these Premium Release 3, thanks to some of my friends here at Auto World Collectors Group on Facebook, is 3756. Okay, so that's what we're guessing for production on those. So there you go. So 3756. So the Ultra Reds are going to be limited to what? That's 3756 multiplied by 2. And then multiplied by 0.03 to get 3%. What is that? I can't do that math in my head. Yeah, it's approximately 225 pieces. Anyway, so there you go. There is version A in red, and then in Chantilly beige, we have version B, which I had this car long before I had that one. Oddly enough, too, I think this was the first one from this series that I had obtained the Ultra Red of, was this casting. So there it is. Looks good in beige. This one's got a little bit of a lean to it. I think I got another one of these carded. I think I almost have a backup of every single one of these cars carded from this series, which is weird because it went from really hard to find, and then eventually I found kind of a honey hole of them, and I got a bunch of them. And then we got the Ultra Red right here. So what does the Ultra Red have for traits? Now this one has your kind of standard, what was typical of Auto World at the time, which is an Ultra Red body and then some sort of white accent. And this one gets the convertible top there as the white accent on the car. Oh yeah, hood opens on this casting as well. They've used this casting quite a few times after it. I don't know, has it come out in a convertible other than this one time? For some reason I can't remember, but I don't really think it has. Basically hardtop versions, I think, after this. But the convertible version's kind of cool. Actually, the Ultra Red's got a little bit of a lean to it as well. Actually, they all kind of have a lean. A little bit of a lean. That's interesting. Not something you see with Auto World too often. But in this particular release, it appears that that casting kind of had a little bit of a leaning issue. All right. Next is number 3, the 1966 Mercury Comet Caliente. This is in Tiffany Blue, version A. Kind of a basic car. I don't think they ever released the Comet again. They did, but I think they made it look a lot different. I mean, they've used this tooling, I think, just only a handful of times. Maybe just a couple times, really. It hasn't been used a lot, I don't think. So that's kind of something cool that's about this release 3. There's just this, this is actually kind of a hard one to get. It's not a very exciting one in that blue, and it's definitely not that crazy exciting in this version B in Jamaican yellow, which is really more of kind of a off-white, beigeish cream color. But there you go. There's this casting. I think we've seen it. I know for sure I can think in my head one other time. I didn't really prepare for all this as far as telling you how many times these castings have come out, but an easy way to reference where they come out is just go to awcollector.com and all the information is there. For example, you could look up this car, look up this release, click on this car, and then see all the releases of it. So we got version A and version B, and then of course the Ultra Red. So the Ultra Red is going to have the traits that we're used to here. Ultra Red body, white accent right there on the side. Just a line. And that's it. That's it for that one. I gotta say, it looks the best. The best color for this one is definitely the Ultra Red. For sure. It definitely looks the best as an Ultra Red. Beautiful color. So this car's got a lot of detail, as you would expect from Auto World Hot 66 on the plate. All right, and the next is a casting that's gotten a lot of love lately, especially in the lowriders, like Mio exclusives. This is the 1970 Chevy Impala Custom Coupe, version A in red, which looks pretty good. It's red. It's got the black top. It's got a black stripe on the side. It's got it's a nice big boat of a car. Pretty good looking car. I just recently picked up an error of this car with a backwards wheel. Interesting one in the package. If you check out Diecast weekly episodes that I do, you'll see that in one of them. Kind of neat in this color. And again, these were kind of a tough one to get. These were expensive. I think they probably still are if you try to find just a regular car. They can be pricey for these old Auto Worlds. And then next, version B, we get this beautiful forest green. This one looks absolutely fantastic. Loving this one. So again, this casting has been used quite a bit now, but back in the day when you're starting to collect Auto World and stuff like that, this was the only release of it for quite a while, and it was a tough one to get a hold of, especially this green one. It's just such a good looking color for this car, and just a fantastic release altogether. This might actually be my favorite release of this casting. It's just really awesome. And then the Ultra Red, which I think I picked up fairly recently, is this guy right here. I believe actually, yeah, this was the second to last one I needed. Ended up hitting eBay for this one. Just a very good look. Of course, it's got the white top. That's the white accent. And then we've got the Ultra Red body. So looks pretty good, pretty decent, and definitely cool. All right, and then we got another boat of a car, and for a while this was the only release of this casting as well. This is the 1967 Cadillac Eldorado in Marina Blue. So again, all of these cars are, you know, good finds. If you can find these things inexpensively, just pick them up, okay? Because they're worth it. So if you can identify this release, if you're out like at a car show or anything like that, this one looks like it's got like a little scratch up here. I think that's like under the clear. It's weird. There you go, this caddy. If you can find these sold release, you should definitely just grab them. The hood on this never really opened very far and easy. You can kind of see what's under there, but that's about all you're getting. So you got this one in Marina Blue. And then, not one of my favorite colors, but a pretty decent one nonetheless. This is a Ember Fire Mist. Which is kind of like a brownish reddish, whatever, metallic color. And it looks okay in this color, just not my favorite color for it. Definitely the Marina Blue, I think, is the cooler one. But yeah, these like I said, if you find anything from this release 3, these Cadillacs and stuff like that, definitely pick them up. They're just not that very, I mean, they didn't make a lot of them either, that at $37.56. So it's just like an odd time for Auto World. And there was like kind of a break after this release too, I think, before they released anything else. This was the Ultra Red, and again, we should expect to see like white accents, but I don't know where are the white accents on this one. It's silver. The plate's white. Is the plate? Is that it? Yeah. Okay. So that's the white accent on this one. Is actually the license plate. The license plate on the others are black with yellow. They both are the same 67 Caddy, and then this one is the white accent. So kind of tricky with that. That's cool. Looks beautiful in an Ultra Red. Looks absolutely fantastic. 67 Caddy. So that is really neat. And then they went modern for one in this release, and that was this guy right here. This is the 2015 Ford Mustang GT. This version 8 in yellow is pretty neat looking. I think they ended up improving this casting by way of the headlight graphic. As you can see here, it's just a silver right there, just silver for this 15 Stang. Well, they ended up improving it and actually putting a graphic of a headlight in there. And that really makes this thing look better. So this was probably, honestly, this is probably my least favorite car in this particular series. They didn't make actually that improvement even till, not the second time it was released, but possibly the third time it was released, I think, is when they made that improvement. It's a Mustang. I'm not a huge Mustang guy, really. At least not the newer Mustangs. They're kind of cool, but... Modern muscle cars, I don't know, they don't really do it for me. Not quite. I mean, they're kind of cool. They're really the Challenger, like the Hellcat and stuff like that, is kind of the cooler one to me. But out of the trio between like the Camaro, the Hellcat, the Mustang, probably the Hellcat. All right, then this one, version B in red. Same deal. It's kind of a plain Jane color. It's just red, enamel red. It's got that, whatever look to it. I mean, they did a good job on the casting. It's just this headlight graphic kind of does detract from it because it just kind of makes it look a little cheaper. When it doesn't feel cheap, it feels really nice, and it's an Auto World. It's all metal. It's heavy. It's got the rubber tires, all that stuff. It does roll quite well, and everything else is really nice about it. It's just that headlight is so prominent, and you can see it like that. It kind of gives it a, cheaper look. And then, of course, the Ultra Red. So the Ultra Red's pretty cool, though. We got, of course, the Ultra Red body. And there's your white accent right there on the rear of the vehicle. Mustang 50. Definitely looks the best in ultra red compared to the other two colors, in my opinion. And it is very cool. All right, so last but definitely not least, and possibly the best casting in this whole set, is for sure the 1969 Chevy Kingswood Estate. We get it version A in black with the wood paneling. Now, I know there's going to be a gripe about this one, too. The wood paneling, how Autoworld used to do it, it's just brown on the side. No graphic for wood paneling. Why would you do that? Well, my theory is probably because Autoworld's supposed to be true 1/64 scale, and wood grain being as small as wood grain is in real life, if you were to shrink it down to 1/64 of the size, truly shrink it down to 1/64 of the size, you probably wouldn't see much of it, right? The wood grain would be so small. That's my theory, right? And that's probably why they originally were like, well, we're just going to do it brown. Maybe it's because they just didn't have a way to do the graphic. That could have been too. The newer ones do have a graphical wood grain, and it does look pretty good. Now, this one does not, and that's okay. It still looks awesome in this black color with the brown wood panel. Hood, of course, opens on this one. Very nice. If I ever see these anywhere, I will pick them up. I will grab them. And I will hoard them because they're just super cool. And this black one is actually somewhat difficult to come across. Same with this one here in Chantilly beige. Olympic gold. Not Chantilly beige. Chantilly beige was that guy. See, I do write notes every once in a while. This one right here is beautiful in this gold. Very, very nice. And again, kind of a tough one to get a hold of these days. And kind of was back in the day too. I think this set, I don't think sold really well in the pegs. I'm guessing it didn't. I mean, I know I passed it up, wasn't excited about it at all. Autoworld was kind of a brand, of course, that grew on me. The more I got, the more I appreciated, and then the more I was like, let's try to get all of them. And, yeah, when this was out on the pegs, I mean, I probably saw it and just didn't even look at it. I might have looked at it to look for ultra red, but that'd probably be about it. So, yeah, very, very cool in this gold. And, of course, lastly, we get, finally, the last little bit of the series that we needed to complete it. It's Kingswood. And we're going to free the piece and drop it right on its wheels. Box, car, completion. All right, so very, very awesome. So I've been curious about this one too, because what do we got for white accents on this? Well, I just spotted it. And wouldn't you know it, I believe it's just the same as the Cadillac, because we got a white plate. And there it is. And it is not white on the other ones. So there you go. Ultra red with the brown, woodish, whatever, paneling. Pretty cool. So happy to complete this set. Hopefully you guys enjoyed another complete Autoworld set here. I know these videos don't get any very many views, especially if it's an older series like this. But I think it's worth documenting and checking out, just for me to enjoy, to look back on, for details on this set, for anybody else to, see every car in the set, including the Ultra Reds. Obviously I don't have the Ultra Raws, so if I could, I would. But very, very cool. All right, you guys, let me know what your favorite was on the set, and hopefully you guys enjoy this. If you enjoy any other Autoworld, want to see other Autoworld videos, there's a whole playlist on this channel dedicated to the brand, so check them out. And thank you guys very much. Have yourself a great day.